It's been 1 year to the day. July 26th is to date the worst day of my life. I'm 20 now, which seems a little young to be feeling like this, but I don't care. I feel what I feel. She broke up with me on July 26, 2021. August 8, 2021 would have been 3 years. At the time, I didn't think it was because of her cheating. She gave me several reasons as to why she was leaving, all of which seemed valid, though I disagreed with many being unfixable. However, at that point there was nothing I could do to change her mind, and that was that. However, we had already signed a lease together along with a third mutual friend for an apartment starting in September, and I'd been wanting to move out for more space anyways, so when the lease was signed pre-breakup, it was a done deal. I didn't mind too much, because our schedules meant we wouldn't see much of each other anyways, and the mutual fiend is cool and not the problem here. In the last few months of our relationship, we had picked up Valorant. Us, along with several other friends, would play Valorant regularly when everyone was available. I liked it, for the most part, but it made me frustrated quite easily for whatever reason, and I started to not enjoy myself as much, before eventually not playing anymore. During one match, close to when I stopped playing, she met a group of people, including a guy named Boyo. The group seemed nice enough, just not my type to hang with. So she continued to play with them, while I dropped Valorant. However, she was hooked on the game, and so were the people she was playing with. So when the day came that she left, I had asked her if she was leaving me for Boyo. She got angry with me, basically a how dare you even suggest that kind of tone. But I had my suspicions. Nothing obvious, I never found texts, I never caught them, hell, he didn't even live in our state. But it still just set something off. Fast forward a month and change, we've been living at this apartment we leased for a short while, and my suspicions keep growing stronger. On move-in day, she spent the entire day on the phone with this guy while we were all moving our stuff in. Barely conversed with us at all, including the mutual friend who had nothing to do with our problems. More alarm bells. Later that week, less than a week after she moved in, she's packing for a trip to the state he lives in. Claims it's because she has family there. She does, but posts on her Snap story before I unedit her confirm she's with this guy. So I do something I'm very much not proud of, I snoop her Discord DMs. I still feel dirty about having done it, but I found exactly what I was looking for, texts including some very lewd texts with timestamps proving that she cheated. I didn't screenshot, I took no pictures, I copied no text. But I felt like throwing up. My heart was pounding and I was dizzy. I knew it. I wished I wasn't right, but too many alarm bells were going off. I confronted her about it a day before she left for her trip. I didn't even raise my voice, because I knew how easily she could use this against me if I even so much as yelled a little. Of course she cried, but she didn't make excuses, because at the time I didn't even bring up the word cheating. I acted as if she only got with him after we were already technically broken up, which would still be upsetting, but not technically cheating. I told her how much it crushed me that she moved on so quickly as if the last 3 years meant nothing to her. She said it was the hardest decision she's ever had to make, but her body language said otherwise. She showed no remorse at all, no sadness beyond maybe for having been caught. The most prevalent emotion was anger. I can't blame her, I'd be angry if someone had gone through my personal messages too, but I would never have done that, ever, if those alarm bells weren't ringing. She leaves on her trip. I'm numb. I'm in disbelief. I don't know what to say, what to do, or what to feel. I'm disappointed with how I handled the situation. I feel like I let her off lightly. But of course she's not here for a week for me to properly express how angry I am and how upsetting this is. Fast forward to early June of this year, she finally moves out. A short conversation we had indicates that she was moving in with some other friends from work, but that's quickly proven a lie when I ask the mutual friend roommate about what was going on. She's moved in with Boyo. It was a remarkable move too. I left one morning to go back to my parents' house to spend some time there, and by the time I came back that evening, all her stuff was gone and her room was empty. So here we are, July 26, 2022. A year later. I'm not okay. I still live from day to day the way I always did, but there's something missing. I still wake up on the verge of tears from dreams where things didn't go so wrong. I've been focusing on myself, as people always say. I'm doing things that I enjoy, and honestly, I've been having fun doing that. But I can't shut off that nagging voice in the back of head some days, about how lonely I feel single, about how much I miss having someone, about what could have gone differently. If you've read this whole vent, thank you. I don't know what it achieves, if anything. I might just be yelling into the void. I don't know if there's advice to be offered, or anything a read can gain from this. But I wanted to say it somewhere where someone just might hear it. I'm tired. Redditors' reactions, story 2 after. Redditor 1, what have you done this past year to improve yourself? Better education. Working out. Lost weight. Got a new job or promotion. Anything. You're living in the past, while life is passing you by. Time to find a new hobby, make new friends, start running. Do something other than stand still. Answer, I have, actually. I started working out more. I finally got myself a drum kit, something I've been meaning to do for a long time, got a one-time rock gig, did my university's summer band program, starting practicing piano again, and finished my associates. It's just the bad days. There are some days when it hurts worse than others. Then there's some days it doesn't even cross my mind. It has been getting better, especially since she moved out. But today just hurts and I wanted to get it off my chest. Redditor 2, man, you are 20 years old. Either become a monk and move to a remote monastery or get back into the dating game. Hang out with your unattached female friends more, there may be a reason why they like hanging out with you. Forget the woman that lied to you and who awoke every day to deceive you. Redditor 3, she left to be with a guy named Boyo from a video game. She doesn't sound like much of a keeper. I would count my lucky stars she is gone. Story 2, girlfriend told me she was cheating on me as a joke. So my 25 meters girlfriend 22F came home today and she said she had something to tell me, and then she told me she was cheating on me. I just kinda froze, and then as she was giving excuses I sat down at the table and put my head down and started crying and asked what did I do wrong. And once she saw I was crying she immediately was like whoa 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 and told me she was joking and she wasn't actually cheating on me. I got really upset and told her my heart was in total shambles for a moment, and she profusely apologized and said that she wasn't at all expecting me to react that way and she shouldn't have done it and wouldn't have done it at all if she had known I'd be so upset by it. I told her I couldn't believe she'd do that and wanted to be alone, and she left. I trust that she's not cheating on me. In hindsight her acting was pretty bad, but I just don't know why'd she do that. I'm so hurt she put me through that as a joke, because for a moment I actually did feel like I wasn't enough and like there was something wrong with me, and I felt so betrayed in that moment. Our relationship was going so great and I believe it was an honest lapse of judgment, but that is such a deep, intense fear of mine that I really do not ever want to joke about. Now I'm not sure what to do. What should I do? Redditors reactions, story 3 after. Redditor 1, that's such a ducked up thing to joke about. Suspicious of it being a joke, but even if you 100% believe it was one, it's messed up and breaks trust in the relationship. How did she think you'd react? I don't understand her thought process here. That's something that could plant permanent seeds of doubt in your partner. Redditor 2, not ducking funny at all. She very well may not be cheating on you, but joking about that is not ducking funny whatsoever. I am so sorry this happened to you. Personally, I would not want to stay with someone who finds it appropriate to joke about cheating on me. Redditor follow-up, honestly, though, jokes are meant to be funny and should not put you in a position to question anyone's trust or how safe you are. That is not okay at all. Redditor 3, that wasn't a joke. That was a test to see how you'd react. I'd be out. Story 3, found out my girlfriend 40F of 16 months has been cheating on me 37M for at least the last 3 months. Maybe longer, I'm not sure. She doesn't know that I know, and I don't think the guy she was cheating with knows that I exist. I need advice. I'm conflicted over whether to do some petty exit and leave, have a mature talk and leave a scathing letter and leave, or just ghost her. Seeing as in my younger years, I have taken the petty option and it never had the effect I wanted, I don't think that's the route I want to take this time. This one deserves more than that. I want to know what will have the most impact and why. I've been cheated on before, but it was always obvious. This is the first time I've been cheated on where they successfully hid it for so long. There is obviously a lot of backstory here, but I don't think it really matters now. Edit, update, backstory on this. A few weeks ago, I accidentally chipped a glass bowl of hers in her kitchen. A salt shaker fell out of the cabinet and hit the edge of the bowl and took a little chip out. I didn't see this happen. I saw the shaker fall and I thought it just hit the countertop. I was eating tuna casserole out of the bowl later and saw the chip. When I saw it, I asked her if she chipped it. She said no, you probably just did when the salt shaker fell. I'd need that because again I was sure I saw the shaker hit the countertop, not the bowl. Later that night she said we need to talk. I don't like that you tried to blame it on me when you broke the bowl earlier. Children lie to get out of trouble, you shouldn't. If you lie about something this small, I'm not going to be able to trust you about anything else. Etc. 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 After a long discussion, I finally convinced her that I didn't know that I broke it, and apologized. So yesterday when she came home, I packed up all of my acid when she was taking a nap and loaded it in my car. When she woke up I said, do you remember the discussion about honesty we had a few weeks ago with the bowl incident? We need to have another discussion about honesty. This one won't take very long. I'm leaving. And left. Blocked her on everything. That felt really good. Thank you everybody for your recommendations and suggestions. Many of them would have worked just as well as this. Redditors reactions, story 4 after. Redditor 1, just tell her you know what's going on. Show evidence if necessary and tell her to have a nice life. No anger, no crying, just have a nice life now. Get the duck out, or if you're at her place grab your exit and bolt. No need for anything else, be indifferent and cold if necessary. Redditor follow up, go with this one. Then block her on everything. She never gets to come back. Redditor 2, I know you're hurt but take the high road. Answer, I assume you mean the mature conversation option. Why do you think that's the best route to take? Redditor 3, I vote ghost. People have a need for explanation and resolution. Her wondering what's going on, figuring out trying to convince herself she's better off now, telling herself this is all somehow your fault, thinking you're childish and then trying to justify her cheating as the right decision, but knowing deep down she's a scumbag, etc. If you can effectively ghost, like go for months and months without allowing her to even lay eyes on you, my guess is she has not experienced that, and I would be satisfied with that. Then if you ever run into her in the future, be nice and friendly and act like you would act if you ran into someone you went on a couple dates with and then just stopped. Answer: I personally liked this option the best before I made this post, but now I'm considering telling her why and just acting like I'm unaffected by it. Then blocking her. Story 4. My girlfriend's F23X's current girlfriend reached out to me M24 today to let me know that my girlfriend has been calling and leaving voicemails for my ex for months. My whole relationship is a lie. Some brief context: my girlfriend and I have been together for almost a year now. Before me she was in an emotionally abusive relationship with her ex of 6+ years. This is my first serious relationship, and while I've been in a few when I was younger and had flings and things, etc., I just never found a girl who drew me in enough for me to want to be in a serious relationship, till I found this one. I fell head over heels from day one. She put me on a pedestal and made me feel like I hadn't felt before. Then she'd get distant and disappear, and I'd get suspicious, and she'd gaslight me into believing that I was always making something out of nothing, and that nothing was ever wrong. She'd be rude and knock me down constantly, but then she'd be sweet and loving and talk about our future. Her ex has popped up on and off, including a period where she hooked up with him after a month or so into us talking and cut me off a day or two before because she needed to think about us. Plenty of other it has happened, but nothing like what I found out today. My girlfriend and I have been getting in constant fights for a couple weeks now. Last night we really went at it. She was mocking me per usual, telling me I just had to be right about everything, discounting my feelings and knocking me down constantly. I mentioned something about her past relationship and asked if he treated her the way she treated me, and she told me that I just pissed her off more than anything had ever pissed her off before. So me angry AF, said, more pissed than when your ex cheated on you. She cried and cried because I had just hurt her more than thought I ever could, that I would make a joke out of one of the lowest points of her life. And then hung up. This afternoon I got a message request on Instagram from my girlfriend's ex's current girlfriend, telling me that my girlfriend has tried to call her ex repeatedly for weeks now, including last night after our argument. The current girlfriend messaged NY girlfriend this afternoon and asked if she was embarrassed over the fact she wouldn't stop calling. The messages I got from the current girlfriend were insane. She confirmed everything I feared was going on behind my back. A couple weeks ago she was showing me something on her phone and she got a message from her best friend, and they had been having a conversation about my girlfriend ex's voicemail tone. I confronted her about it and she said that her ex wouldn't stop trying to call her and that she has him blocked on everything, but he kept calling on no caller ID, and the only way to get him to stop was to call him back. The current girlfriend confirmed that it was actually my girlfriend who had been calling her constantly because the ex has her blocked on everything. She mentioned that my girlfriend had called numerous times, left numerous voicemails, and clearly was not past their relationship, not to mention they actually broke up in 2019 and then hung out a couple times through COVID, but my girlfriend claims they broke up at the end of 2020. Everything my girlfriend claimed the ex was doing, she was actually doing. There were some screenshots, all of this too. I am crushed, to say the least. While I fought to be the best boyfriend possible, my girlfriend, the girl who I thought was the love of my life, was pining over her ex. Her distance and inability to open up to me because it took a long time for her to open up was really due to the fact that she couldn't open up to me because our relationship wasn't deep. She even told her best friend halfway into our relationship that she didn't think she'd ever love me as much as she loved her ex, that she couldn't tell me things like she could tell her ex, etc. I snooped at the time because I was very suspicious and found all of that out. As disappointed in myself for snooping as I am. Our relationship was a lie and I fell in love with someone who really didn't care about me. Redditor's reactions, story 5 after. Redditor 1, your GF was in an abusive relationship with her ex. She was the abuser, she's still the abuser and continuing the pattern. What she's doing now is abusing you while stalking her ex, her former victim. Do not be surprised if when you break up with her you find her repeating that stalking behavior with you. Please do not confront her without a friend knowing where you are and giving a time to call and check in. You may want to do it over the phone or in a public place. Don't be alone with her if you can avoid it. If you have to get anything from her place, either bring a couple of friends or a police escort. Redditor follow-up, this. She has lied about so much and I doubt that the ex was the abusive one due to this. And this is great advice. She will lie about op. He needs to act smart. Redditor 2, hard lesson to learn, sometimes people are just it. Sad that you caught one. Throw her back in, lick your wounds and move on. Just remember she is not all women. Her actions should not become a reason for you to doubt yourself or to hold back on finding the right kind of relationship with a loving woman. This was just a bad hand and not your fault. Try to remember that. Redditor 3, sweetie, you are in an abusive relationship. What you're describing is emotional abuse. She lifts you up over and over, then breaks you down, then she lifts you up again. She's using you as a placeholder in case her ex wants her back. Sorry you got involved with someone like that, but you need to move on and cut off all contact. Story 5, found flirtatious messages with coworker on girlfriend's phone. Hello. Last night I 22M went through my girlfriend's 22F phone while she was asleep. I'm not one to do things like this, but recently she had been mentioning a new coworker, a male much older than her who is flirting with her quite often. For some reason, my senses were telling me there was more to this story. So I went through her phone. I found an insane amount of flirtatious messaging between the two of them. Instantly, I woke her up and confronted her about what I just found. She broke down crying, begging me not to leave her and that the only reason she did it was because she just started receiving attention for once in her life. I don't know what if this is considered cheating, but she has lost all of my trust. I don't know what steps to take and would really appreciate advice on how to handle this situation. Thanks. Edit. She broke up with me for setting new boundaries. Redditor's reactions. Redditor 1, people here will have different boundaries around what they consider cheating, but to me this is cheating. She's encouraging another guy, and she's getting emotionally involved with him. She has accepted his flirty advances and encouraged them, and sent flirty advances of her own. This is emotional cheating, and it's a hop, skip and a jump to physical cheating. For me, I'd walk away instantly. If some other man turns her head that easily, then she's not happy with or fully committed to you. Redditor follow-up, this. Especially with her reasoning of I just started getting attention for once, so to me that says it literally could have been anyone as long as they give me attention, and what that also says to me is that it'll continue to happen, maybe not with the guy in question, but that's not the point. Redditor 2, just leave, she's clearly not loyal and craving attention is not an excuse. Redditor follow-up, Craving external validation from the time you're attracted to whilst in a committed relationship is always a recipe for disaster. Redditor 3, whenever a woman cries like this, it's because she did you wrong. Leave this girl. Redditor follow up, this. She cried because she got caught. 1. She didn't cry when she gave this person her mobile. 2. She didn't cry when the first flirty text came in. 3. She didn't cry when she sent ones back. She cried to manipulate you. And she'll do it again, to you, unless you walk away, in which case she'll do it to some other guy she doesn't respect, maybe this guy, for the next person who gives her attention.